Howdy, my totally tubular sharkaholics. You know what time of the year it is. Oh yeah, summertime. It's the season to be sharky. And you know, on this channel, every summer we look at the shark movies. Oh yeah, so welcome back to the Shark Scale Year 4. Now, if you're either new to the channel or a longtime fan, welcome. We're going to be looking at some real interesting shark movies in the next couple months for the summer, and it's going to be a fun time for sure. Some good, some bad, and everything else. So, let's just get right into this first movie, Virus Shark. I thought I would choose a movie that's really contextual and really keeping up with current events for obvious reasons. So, we got Virus Shark. Don't really want to go too in depth yet, so let's just look right at the movie because it's Oh my god.
So Virus Shark takes place in the near future where I guess COVID has just wiped out civilization and there's basically nothing left. Oh, I'm sorry, Shabbat 1 or whatever they call it, but it came from a shark bite instead of what actually happened. Well, an elite group of people are trying to find a cure and are in a secret underwater base researching it when stuff goes down, and I'll leave it at that. So, while the initial premise is fine and I guess somewhat relatable, this movie eventually just goes wild. Instead of people dying from the virus, they go insane and turn into monsters, I guess. The first half of the movie is fine enough, however, the movie climaxes strangely at about 60% through the movie. Yeah, after that, the main scientist gets out of the lab and is on the land with these monsters. This part of the movie really drags and it feels like filler in a movie that's not even an hour and 15 minutes. The movie's pacing is just all kinds of off in this movie. It makes the movie feel very stale very quickly, and I firmly believe that the movie should have ended when the scientist left the lab, as all this other stuff is not needed. I thought the plot wasn't even that bad for the first half, but once the movie goes to land, I think it drastically goes down in terms of quality, and the ending is just as awful and stupid as it gets. When examining the whole plot, I'd have to say it's very mixed as a whole and just not all that good, especially when looked at critically. Okay, so the plot is not exactly stellar in Virus Shark, but what about the sharks? Well, the sharks show up a decent amount of time, especially before the climax. They show up in almost every scene and just make a quick little appearance here and there, but honestly, well, yeah, that doesn't sound great. That's better than the second half of the movie where the shark appears in literally one scene and that's it. One scene in like 20 or 25 minutes. Yeah, that's not good. Sure, in the first half of the movie, they don't really do anything, but they actually show up. I will say around the movie's climax, the sharks actually do some stuff, so that's good. I'll just say it could be a lot worse, but it's not exactly good either. The sharks look awful as well. This movie came out in 2021, and you could tell me that this came out in 2007, and I would believe you, as they just look that horrible. Much better renders of sharks exist out there. Like, this is just bad when it comes to everything. The animation, or really lack thereof, the detail and the lack thereof, then the general quality of the model, the shitty special effects that have been put on to make it look like it's infected and all bad. Like, it's just terrible. The kills, if you can even call them that, are not even any better. The shark kills like 4 people in this movie, and one of them you don't even see. The other 3 are, well, they're not that bad, but they're very spaced out, I will say that. While we are in the subject of kills and gore in general, I want to give a shout out to whoever the makeup artist was for this movie. I actually think it was actually pretty decently well done and arguably the best aspect of the entire movie. Thought the gore was pretty alright. These costume designs for the monsters I don't think were all that well, but the general gore of the movie, really solid. Something that was not solid was the acting in this movie. Now, I get that it's a very budget, small movie, but this acting was some of the most wooden, robotic acting that I've ever seen in a movie. I'd say everyone was equally terrible. Some were terrible for different reasons, but they were all genuinely terrible. The main antagonist sounds like a robot. He doesn't ever have any emotion whatsoever, and the people on land are just screaming for no reason, and they sound ridiculous. They sound like they're a parody of something, but I'm not really sure that they're parodying anything, and I'm not sure what they would be parodying. The main character, she tries, I can tell she tries, but she's just not all that great, but like she really is just unable to display basically any emotion. Yeah, the acting is just really not that good all around, and it just kind of made the movie drag on longer and longer. The only character with any personality is Duke the security guard, who I'm convinced is just supposed to be Duke Nukem. He was easily my favorite character in the movie. In the end, I just don't really have all that much to say about the acting because it just wasn't good, that's simple. That's really what I could say about this movie as a whole. It just wasn't very good. The movie was pretty horrible in every aspect, just like the virus that the movie's based on. Awful. And doesn't deserve to be here. With terrible acting, awful special effects, a pretty stupid plot overall, and lackluster kills, there's really not much reason to even think about this movie after watching this video. And there's definitely no reason to watch it, as there is basically no redeemable qualities, other than it might get a good laugh out of a couple people, especially with the right setting. I made sure to watch this in the correct setting, which was with a bunch of friends drinking and laughing at how stupid it was. I cannot imagine watching this alone, let alone sober. That just sounds like a miserable experience, or really a very boring one. I'd have to say Virus Shark is probably in my top 10 worst shark movies I've ever seen, but not like top 5, but probably top 10, as it's truly terrible and not really a good way to start the summer for the shark movies, but it is what it is. It's pretty obvious what it gets on the shark scale. It gets a 1 out of 5 and is shark shit. Can't recommend it to anybody and generally a waste of time. I can recommend almost any other shark movie over this one, as most shark movies have at least one redeeming quality, while this movie generally just does not. I would put it with like college students practicing film levels of quality, only this was like barely even that. I mean, they weren't practicing film, like it was just bad. The whole movie's on YouTube as well, so if there's something wrong with you and you want to go watch it in its entirety, it's here on YouTube. I'm not linking that though. I don't recommend the movie. And that's all I gotta say about this movie. So, hope everyone has a good one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, sub, and have a good day. See ya.